So I thought maybe I should do a proper introduction of myself because I've got some new people following me. So my name is Fran Wolf. I'm a boomer and I live in southern British Columbia. I am single. I am a mom of 2 adult grown kids. I have a daughter and I have a son. They're quite marvelous, quite wonderful. I am the sole caregiver of my son who has an incurable cancer. I've mentioned it before in other videos. He has multiple myeloma. He is disabled from the cancer. He has monthly chemo treatments and he will have that for the rest of his life. Cancer damaged his heart so badly that he can't shovel snow, he can't do any heavy lifting, no brisk walking, none of that. And his skeleton is that of an 88-year-old woman. So he has severe osteoporosis. So he's disabled. We now say he is a retired chef because the cancer makes it impossible for him to be employed. His diagnosis was October 17th, 2018. Boy, did my life change on that day. Did his life change on that day. When we had that diagnosis come down, it was like a ton of bricks falling on us, and I thought, oh, I'm going to need some help. So I did what a good mom does. Reached out to family, to a few friends. It didn't go the way I thought it would, that's for sure, so that was a disappointment. Most of them were really happy to tell me that they believed that I was strong enough I could do this. You're strong, you can do this. And of course there was the never-ending thoughts and prayers which don't pay the bills, and we know that cancer is a thief and it steals everything from you. So I knew something had to change. And it's been like that now for 6 years. When my son didn't need as much help from me because he was more stable because he's in remission now, I knew that I was going to have to go back to work. So that was 3 years ago. I went and got a part-time job in a grocery store working at a deli. It helped a little bit, but that also meant that I was not able to be there when he really needed me, and there were times when I should have been by his side. For 2 more winters, I continued to work in a grocery store, and this last 2 winters I was a cashier. There was a point last summer that I knew I couldn't keep this up. I just can't. I remember thinking, something has to change. I have to find an alternative. You can imagine the late nights and the constant worry and feeling like no matter what I do, I'm never going to get anywhere with this, and how in heaven's name am I ever going to be able to make sure he has what he needs? Because I'm a pensioner, so there's not a lot of money coming into the coffer. We were managing, but that meant only that, managing, and if an emergency came up, we were toast. So I wanted more, I needed more. I needed more for myself, I needed more for my son. I needed more from my family, more from my daughter, and I couldn't do it with the way I was going, so I started looking. Last summer, I spent a fair amount of time looking, watching, listening to people who were doing online marketing, and I thought, well, maybe I can do that. I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can do that. Because if I can do that, I can be at home, and in the event that my son needs me, I can be available for him. Maybe produce some relief from the suffocating pressure of the financial struggles, and maybe freedom from that pressure. Who doesn't want that? Not much to ask for. Freedom for my son, for my daughter, for myself, from financial pressure. Maybe so we could live with more than the limits that are imposed upon us, as the situation is currently. I took a chance. I invested in myself. I decided I'm going to try and see if I can create an opportunity for myself that would make life better for myself, for my son, for my daughter. Meantime, from last summer until now, I did go back in the winter and I did work as a cashier. But I kept going, I kept learning, and I kept trying. And what I have learned has changed everything for me. I have come to know that I am capable of so much more than I ever gave myself credit for. That's why I'm sharing this information with you now, mostly because for accountability for myself. Because if we say the words out loud, they seem to mean more. No, I'm not the only one who has felt these struggles. I know I'm not the only one. I know there are other people out there experiencing this. I worked with some of them, and I hear stories from others, so I know that there is an alternative to the 9 to 5, or as I consider it, the alternative to the Matrix. And I gotta tell you, I didn't even know where to begin. I didn't know where to start or how to start or who to talk to. Kept seeing this woman show up on my feed, a Canadian, so there's that. And she talked about things that happened in her family, really upsetting things that happened in her family, at a time when they simply could not have anything like that happen. I was in that time with my son. So I reached out to her, and I asked her questions. And she showed me ideas and opportunities. And I did it. I invested. I bought this thing called the Wealth Workshop. It was made for people like me, made for people like us. It's more than information, it's education. It's an investment in myself. Now be clear, I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not asking for money, or I'm not asking for pity. Good God, who wants that? I'm only asking for an ear, just to listen, just so I have somebody to talk to, because I really can't be talking to a family who wouldn't support me when I really needed them to 6 years ago. The thing I learned about this stuff is all very tech, and I'm not tech savvy. But I haven't had to figure it out on my own. I've talked with the woman who introduced me to this, and I'm going to call her my friend, and I'm going to call her my mentor. It wasn't a lot of money I invested. It was something I could afford to do. Yes, I made a couple of small sacrifices, but it was something I could afford to do. So I'm working on this, the Wealth Workshop program. I'm studying. I work every day on it a little bit, not very much, maybe a couple hours, if that. I've learned that it's a way to build something new, something real, and it's step by step, so you have support. There's lots of people who I can reach out to and get support as I need it. I'm so tired of feeling stuck. I'm so tired of feeling the pressure of not being able to get the things I need when I need them. Tired of having to make sacrifices just for the simple basic things of don't buy this so that your son can have that. Don't buy this so that you can have that. Having a little bit of money in case there's an emergency. Summer we had 3 or 4 of them, and good thing I had put some money away, but it wasn't much, but it was only enough. I'll keep telling you stories, and if you listen, that's good, and if you don't, that's okay. Have you ever been stuck? Have you ever felt like this? I know I'm not alone. So anyway, I'm going to keep moving forward. If you want to know more about what I'm doing, I encourage you to send me a DM, and I'll share information. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I'm not flogging anything. I'm just sharing information about a way for my life to become better. And maybe I can be an encouragement to someone else. I don't know. We'll see. If you want to know more, comment more. It's up to you. I'll share my story with you. I don't expect anything in return. We'll see what happens. I know I've made big steps forward. I will continue to do that. And I'm really grateful to have you so I can run these things by somebody. And hopefully without judgment. So it's time for me to go back in the house and kiss the wiener dog.